want us to go straight into the Bible reading. The first one is a short one. It says, Romans 12, verse 2, and do not be conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Of course, I forgot to recognize and welcome all our people who join us on the net and all our people who join us on the various internet scenes. The second one is a very short verse, Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinketh, so is he. But our core scriptures are two. The two are very long ones. So I'll read one whilst you are standing, and then the other one we'll read it as we get along. The first one is taken from 2 Kings 5. 2 Kings 5. It starts from verse 1. He said, Naaman's leprosy is healed. Now Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great and honorable man in the eyes of his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor, but a leper. And the Syrians had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. She waited on Naaman's wife. Then she said to her mistress, if only my master were with a prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of his leprosy. And Naaman went in and told his master, saying, thus and thus said the girl who is from the land of Israel. Then the king of Syria said, go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 shekels of gold and 10 changes of clothing. I think you may take your seat. Let us pray. Father, I thank you this morning for our father who is on assignment. I thank you for our mother who is here. I thank you for the congregants who are here today. And I thank you for our online congregants also. I praise your name and glorify you. And we say that today, Father, show yourself mighty, because you are the only one that we know. And we thank you, Father, that you are God all by yourself. There is no other God that we know. This morning, show yourself mighty, and we will give all the glory and honor to you. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Friends, the last time that I was here, we talked a little bit about vision, and we said everyone should have a vision. And I think everyone has to. This morning, I want to speak to you on the subject, stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. Say it with me. Stretch your mindset. Dr. J, I nearly forgot you. You took so many years in coming back, so I nearly forgot you. Welcome, sir. Of course, not you alone, but with her. Stretch your mindset. So what is this mindset? And we are going to do a few definitions so that we all are on one page. A mindset is a series of self-perception or belief that people hold about themselves. These determine their behavior, their outlook, and mental attitude. These determine their behavior, their outlook, and mental attitude. For example, believing that you are intelligent or not intelligent. A mindset is what you believe, and we believe this not because you sit down one day and you say, I'm not intelligent. It's that the worldview before some time, a French man, Binet, he was the one who brought the intelligence quotient, the IQ, into the world, and they could measure your IQ. And because we were all going to school and being told that if you had an IQ above 120, then you were great. And if you had one like mine, 90, then we need to give you remedial studies. So, this is what. So for you to decide whether you are intelligent or not, those days, you were cushioned into that sphere. You were cushioned into that sphere. And the mindset is that you know that you are not intelligent or you are intelligent. So today we will look at the mindset that many of us have, and we will deal with that. Then a mindset is an established set of attitudes of a person or group concerning culture, values, worldview, or belief. That's another thing, another definition of mindset. This one talks of attitude. And a famous American president said, you cannot help a man that has the wrong attitude in life, and a man with a good attitude also will go very far. That is paraphrased. Jefferson said that. So a mindset is an established set of attitudes of a person or group of persons concerning culture, values, and worldview of belief. The third one is that your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. This influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave at any given situation. It means that what you believe about yourself and impacts your success or failure. So a mindset is so important. I want to ask you a question, all of you. You don't need to answer. How many of you believe that leaders are made or leaders are born? How many of you believe that leaders are born? Many people believe that leaders are born. At least when I went to school, I knew that I was not a leader. And I knew because I was told at home that don't go and mix with the rich people there. You know where you come from. So the mindset that I took to school, I went to the secondary school and took to school, is that you are poor, don't go and mix with those people. You are not a leader. So if they are looking for leaders, you just didn't go there. A mindset is important for all of us. And this morning, I just want you to understand. This brings me to the next question. Were you born a leader? Or you think your next door neighbor is a leader, you were not born? How many people believe that leaders are born or leaders are made? There are two things. Some people believe that leaders are born, others believe that leaders are made. But recent research has shown a lot that there are no great leaders in the world at all. That leaders are people who will come into the world and face great difficulties and help solve those problems, and those are leaders. We are getting somewhere with this, okay? A lady called Carol Dweck wrote a book called The Mindset, and I would recommend that each one of you reads that book. Carol Dweck wrote a book called The Mindset. And she devised those two mindsets into two. He said the first one is a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is like the one that I was given to take to school. This is you. You will do this, and that is you. And unfortunately, many people, and especially children of God, also have a fixed mindset. They think they will not be able to make it because you were not born to make it that way. But she says that there is a second group, there's a second type of mindset, and that mindset is called a growth mindset. A growth mindset. So there are two types of mindsets according to Carol Dweck. The first one is a fixed mindset, and the second one is a growth mindset. The famous Martin Luther King said that a feeling of having little doubt, he said that the mind must be the standard of the man. The mind must be the standard of a man. Now let me give you the last definition that I have there. A feeling of having little doubt about yourself and your abilities, or a feeling of trust in someone or something. This morning, I wanted us to look into the Bible that we are talking about. What does a mindset do to you? The mindset determines you and it defines you because you believe that among yourself. You believe that in yourself. Sometimes too, the mindset takes away the confidence. It takes away confidence from you. And if you read the book of Esther, for example, the confidence of Mordecai. Mordecai was just a gatekeeper there, but Haman, the great man who thought the king loved him so much, when he came, everybody said, great guy. Great, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Mordecai had some confidence that you can't understand it. When Haman came and passed by, Mordecai would not bow to Haman. And this worried Haman so much. If you remember also in the book of Esther, for example, that was the book of Esther. But if you remember Ruth, when Ruth went with the mother-in-law, went with Naomi. Naomi went back and they said, oh, Naomi is back. Naomi had lost all her confidence. So Naomi said, don't call me Naomi again. Call me Mara. Call me Mara. She had lost all the confidence. So sometimes a mindset will make you lose your confidence. Sometimes a mindset will make you lose your confidence. Whereas Naomi said that, call me Mara, she did not know what was going to happen to her. But she had lost so much confidence that she said, call me Mara. If you read, I've told you about Haman. So Haman, let me read a little portion of the Bible to you. Esther 5:9. It says that, so Haman went out that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, and that he did not stand or tremble. See, the big man says, when I was passing by, this man saw me. He did not even stand to attention, and he did not tremble. Because the man did not tremble, and because the man did not also recognize him or did not stand, he was filled with indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman restrained himself and went home, and he sent and called for his friends and his wife Zeresh. Then Haman told them of his great riches. Of his great riches. One of the things that make people have false confidence, riches. Of his great riches, the multitude of his children, everything in which the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the officials and servants of the king. Say, stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. So, it is interesting to see all the wars in your head, all the wars in your head must be ending today, and we will talk about it. The negative thoughts must be gone, so that indeed we would know that there is a God not only in Israel, but a God also in Zimbabwe, in us. Sometimes the negative things that you have in your head, they define you because you have a mindset already which tells you that, no, you can't do anything about it. But friends, our Father told us before, and we believe it has been said on this pulpit, that failure is a better teacher. Failure is a better teacher. And when failure comes to you, just don't sit down and cry. Take the failure and learn something from it, and you will see what is happening. Now, let's go to the Bible that we read. The Bible talks about a slave girl. She does not even have a name. The Bible does not, at that time, she was not so important that even her name would come. He said, this is a slave girl who had indeed grown up in Israel and now had been taken captive and was living in the house of the general. And he was serving the madam, the wife of the general. So why did this girl become so important? It's because of her mindset. This is a slave girl who has nothing to lose. All she needs to do is perhaps scrub the floor or serve and so on. But she said, oh, if my master could go back to my country, to the prophet in my country. Now, I have a few theories about this. I may be wrong, but let me tell you. How can this girl go and even talk to the general? I mean, you have just been brought as a slave girl here. How do you feature in this? One, I think that this girl, like a Jew, she went there and had a Jewish mindset. He said, wherever I am, the Lord is with me. Like Joseph, wherever I am, whether in prison, whether in captive, whether in the nation of anything. And so are all of you sitting here. Wherever you are, the Lord is with you. So this girl, and I believe the second thing is that this girl was so good at her work. She went the extra mile. As a Christian, she did not curse the man who employed her. She was indeed blessing the man who employed her. So this girl was indeed accepted in that house and was recognized. So she went to the madam and said, you know, if our father, if the boss, if my master could go to the prophet in my country, he would be cleansed of this leprosy. This is a girl with a fixed mindset who says, where I come from, we believe in the living God. And the Lord speaks through some people that we call prophets. No matter what happens to you, if you go there, the prophets will heal you. This is a very serious matter. Can you imagine that the general went to Israel and he was not healed? What would have happened to this slave girl? But this slave girl didn't care. He said, in our country, oh, that my master will go to the prophet. She had a mindset that you could not change. Friends, this is the mindset that you should have. Slave or no slave, you must have that mindset. He said, this girl had such mindset that I'm here, the Lord will bless the house that I'm living in. What I have said is going to go is final. The Lord will bless me like he blessed Joseph. He will bless the house that I'm working in. He will bless my master and so on. Some of you sitting here, you might not even know, but it's your presence in this nation that we have not gone worse than this. So you've got to have that mindset. The mindset is a winner's mindset. It's a growth mindset. It's not a mindset that you sit there and say, well, the economy is so bad. I mean, what are we going to do? Don't sit there and moan. No. Have that mindset of a slave girl who is nameless. Nameless. In the Bible, they didn't even mention her name. And why would the mistress listen to this slave girl who has just come? Why? Because they might have seen great things happen with this girl. The household began to blossom like Obed-Edom's house since this girl came. And therefore, when she says something, they believe it. A household, the general's household, where they believe a slave girl, this slave girl must be special. And she was special because of her mindset. Friends, I say to you, stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. Can you imagine what would have happened if this girl sent the general on a wild goose chase and the general came back still leprous? Can you imagine that? I mean, by the time they hear that the general is coming, the girl would have gone already or would have hung herself. But she knew what she was talking about. A week ago, today, Barry is not at church. A week ago, I was privileged to speak to men during this month. You know, it's the men's month, and we are talking of all diseases and things like that. And I got a group that I had to speak to. And I shared the podium with a man who indeed impressed me so much. This is a young man. He's written a book, and I bought 10 of them. Today we will give 10 to some people here. I don't know how we are going to do it, but we will do that. This gentleman has written a book, and he said, From a Gardener to the Motivator. I mean, this is a young man. This is a true story. Barry is not here today. He was the MC at that place where I spoke. This is a young man who was living with grandmother and went to O-level and didn't pass the O-level English, and so couldn't get a job. So he got a job and took a job as a gardener. And everybody knew. This boy said when he was a gardener, every day he could tell himself, this is not my place. But, you know, words alone don't help you. But he had a mindset to do better than this. He had a mindset, and until children would try and call him, hey, garden boy, hey, garden boy. And he swore to himself that, hey, this is not my place. I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to do something about it. And fast forward, the day that we spoke together, he had just come from Rwanda. Here, he is in the school of he teaches at the school of public speaking. He does life coaching. And this is a man who didn't pass O-level. Friends, change your mindset, stretch your mindset, stretch your mindset. You know, so, I mean, the book is easily written. You can read it in one day if you get angry. And well, you see, if you are not angry, you can't do it. I've bought a few of them, and today I don't know how I'm going to give it to people, but and I'm not giving it to CEOs or for people who have made it, okay? No, let other people do it. I said for people who are hungry. You know, it's an interesting thing. If a lion is chasing a deer, both of them will run. Can you imagine who will run faster? Because if the deer is caught, that is his life is finished. If the lion does not catch the deer, he's lost breakfast. It doesn't matter. You see? So the lion will run very fast looking for breakfast. But if he doesn't get this breakfast, he will get another breakfast. The deer has only one life, and he's not going to wait for him to be taken one life. It depends on how hungry you are. It depends on how hungry you are. Friends, it depends on how hungry you are. So stretch your mindset. Don't come and tell me that, the simple and the real story. I finished O-level and I couldn't get anybody to look after me. That story is too obsolete. That story is gone. That story is gone. There's only one Bible verse that I know, and that says that the Lord said he will bless the work of my hands. He said he will bless the work of my hands. There are too many of us looking for breakthroughs, doing nothing. You can't lie in your bed and it is cold and take the blanket over your head, do the same thing, and expect that the Lord will bless the work of your hands. Which work is he blessing now? God is looking for work to bless, but we must do the work so that he blesses you. You see? Martin Luther King said something which baffled. He says, even if you are sweeping the streets, sweep it like Michelangelo will paint. Even if you are sweeping the street, sweep it like Beethoven will compose music. But there are some of us that we go to a workplace and we are cursing the man who is paying us and giving us, you work in a shop. Yeah, this is too expensive, but don't buy it. Go away and do this. But it is that thing that feeds you. It is that one that feeds you. Is that the work of your hands? That's a bad work of your hand. God can't bless you with that. It's a bad work of your hand. So let's go back. This garden boy was a failure. But failure teaches better than success. But failure teaches better than success. So he looked at the failure and said, no, I'm not going to stay here. He decided to change the situation. He started doing some things. And that is what I want all of us to do. He started improving himself. He started improving his vocabulary. He started reading. The first thing he started, that all of us must start also, is to do affirmation. I am not like this. I am not like this. I'm God's child. I can do better than that. I'm going to be great. I am a great person. That's the first thing that you have to do. Affirmation, it must come. It must come. You can't get this one who is now teaching CEOs. How? He doesn't even have O-level. That's what we would say. So what has that got to do with the mindset? I told you before, the fixed mindset, if this gentleman had the fixed mindset, then he would have said, well, nobody looked after me. My grandmother says he can't look after me anymore. I didn't pass O-level. This is my lot. I'll stay here as a gardener, and that's the end of the story. He didn't have a fixed mindset. He had a growth mindset, and he told himself that this is not my place. I'm not sitting here to die. No, this is not my place. And indeed, today, he teaches CEOs and parliamentarians. Friends, stretch your mindset. Stretch your mindset. I'm telling you a true story. This really hit me. And I thought that this is a great teacher. I mean, his life shows what it is. His life shows what it is. So he started reading books. He started improving his vocabulary. And he started the affirmation. He started to tell himself, I'm not like this. Proverbs 22:29 says, do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings and not before mere men. Whatever you are doing, friends, you must do it so good that you will not stand before mere men. It's an important thing. The Father that we serve is a perfectionist. He's waiting to build us. He's waiting to bless the work of our hands. So let us give him the opportunity to bless the work of our hands. The second thing that he does, this gentleman did, and that is what all of us should do. He said, surround yourself with people who have been there before. Surround yourself with people who are going somewhere, not people who are not going anywhere. After all, they say that you are the average of the 5 closest people around you. So if you know your 5 friends that you deal with, you are the average. If there are people who are going nowhere, change them. Change them. I haven't said that go there and look at them and say, you, I've changed you. You have to know. That's not what I said, okay? But indeed, if you are the average of the 5 people you have surrounded yourself with, and you know you are going nowhere, and they are going nowhere, don't stay there. You know, eagles don't flock. Eagles soar. Eagles soar. And so when people say, well, you tried, it was not all right, just it's okay, leave it and so on. They want you to be in the crowd, to stay with them. No, that's not your place. You have tried. Go on trying. Go on trying. That is the important aspect of it. So eagles soar. You can't just sit there and moan. You know, a nephew of us came home and was moaning badly. And he was moaning badly because his children go to school in the UK, and one of them has become the school prefect in a big school in the UK. And he's saying, so I don't know what will happen. I said, you've lost her. You've lost her. She's an eagle. She's not a chick walking around the coop at all. Okay? She's not a hen walking around the chicken coop. He's going to soar, and he's not going to be. The Lord is waiting for people to bless the work of their hands. Why are you still there moaning? The moaning is too much, no? You see? So I told her, the majority of our friends will polish our ego and tell us where you are is at the moment, it's okay, it's all right. Life lessons are learned in the classroom of failure. Life lessons, they are learned in the classroom of failure. So you cannot, in this economy, I didn't get anybody to pay my school fees. Yeah, so if I get about 200,000, then I can start a big project. If you can't manage $20, how can you manage 200,000? If you can't manage $20, how can you manage? So he says, surround yourself with people who have been there or people who are going somewhere. That is important. Surround yourself with people like that. You know, research has shown that over 82% of people who win lotto, within 7 years, they have all come back there. Easy come, easy go. Because they didn't work for it. So you have to learn from your failure and know that times are tough. So that when the money comes, the young ones, you don't marry a second wife, and then when the money comes, you think that, let's get a second wife, let's do this, let's buy a big... No, if you work hard for it, you don't fool around with that money. That is the point. So learn from your failure. Learn from your failure. You can't do things that way. No. Today, there is so much material to learn, and there is so much to do. The next thing is that you must commit to excellence. You must commit to excellence. You must practice excellence. You must practice it so high that you begin to tell yourself that even if I'm sweeping the floor, I'll sweep it so well that people would know. Now, listen to this. In the book of Esther 6, chapter 6, verse 13. Let me read that portion to you so that you know. He said, when Haman told his wife Zeresh and all his friends everything that had happened to him, his wise men and his wife Zeresh said to him, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is of Jewish descent, you will not prevail against him, but will surely fall before him. You are washed with the blood of Jesus. All of you sit here are washed with the blood of Jesus. So if Haman plot against you, anybody who plots against you will not prevail. So what else do you want the Lord to do for you? plan and start doing something. Because this is the mindset that, if you remember, Mordecai had. He knew that, no, I'm not rich, but I'm not going to bow down to this man. I'm not just going to glorify him. I have only one God, and that is the God that I'll serve. And Mordecai did not do that. And yet Haman is not able to prevail against Mordecai because Mordecai has a growth mindset. He hasn't got a fixed mindset. You see, if it were me, he said, well, why don't you bow down and have your peace? You want to choose the easiest way to go because that is what you want. You've got to have a growth mindset. You've got to have a growth mindset. There are several things in the world which make people get confidence. Several things. The first thing is power. Have you seen a powerful man? Yeah, he has the power. He can tell you to go. He can tell you to come. And so the first thing is power. Power makes many people really have confidence. It gives them confidence. It's a false confidence, but it gives them confidence. They think that once I'm in power, everything is solved. The second one is popularity, fame, popularity. So power and popularity. That gives people that attention and it gives them confidence. It gives them confidence. Popularity will also do the same to you. The third one is position. He's the CEO of the company. So before you come there, it's already sized you up whether you get a job or not, and is talking down onto you. That is the one. The fourth one is pecunia. That's the Latin word for money. Pecunia. People who have money don't respect you at all. I mean, it doesn't respect you. Yeah. After all, you are just a poor man. That is the point between Haman and Mordecai. You see, people who have money would do so. So we all trust in powers, but some get power through the ballot, some get power by birth. By birth, because if you're a royal, then you can get power through that. Some people also get power by working hard. Some have power trusted upon them. If you remember the American president, Lyndon Johnson, he got power by twist of circumstances. Kennedy dies, then he gets the ultimate power. You see, so many people have it. Some have it also as inheritance. We've talked about it. But now let's go back to this slave girl. Did this slave girl have any power? The answer is no. Did she have any authority? The answer is no. Did she have any money? The answer is no. So what was giving this girl that confidence to go and say that, oh, only if my master could go to the prophet? It must be her mindset. I want you, if you live here today, to have a mindset that there is nothing impossible for you to do. So I'm bringing you back also to here. Today is the last day of June. This is a notebook only. This is not another book. This is a notebook only. And in this notebook, I've written day 0, and from tomorrow, I'll have day 1. I need a few people to come with me that every day, whatever we are doing, we will do 30 minutes of some skill that we have learned. And next year at this time, we will compare notes. I am trying to get a skill in writing. And I think that next year by this time, I should write a book. So I need some people. It's no good for me. It's no good for me to write a book. I don't need to write a book to earn the living. But I think it is important that Whatever we teach by leadership. And if we want to lead, then we have to lead by example. So today is day 0, and most of you who are here, just say that tomorrow is day 1. And every day, 30 minutes of some skill that you are in there, because we are trying to become experts. We are trying to become experts. We are trying to become experts. So, friends, the mindset that you have to have is simple. The mindset that you have to have, simple. Now, I want to bring you back to a second reading, but I will not read that one to you. You remember what all of us say, the parable of the prodigal son. The Bible calls it the lost son. You remember the son who squandered the money and the inheritance. And when he came to himself, he said, in my father's house. In my father's house. You know what that mindset was? He told himself that, no way, I'm not staying here to eat the food of pigs. I am different. I'm going back. I'm a royal. I'm not going to stay here and eat the food with pigs. And indeed, he came back and his father was accepting him. I'm not saying he did the right thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking today about mindset. I would not have done that. I would have stayed where I am because of shame. And I think most of you would have done that too. Because of shame, no, you can't go back to your father. But his mindset dictated the pace. His mindset dictated the pace. I want you all to stretch your mindset and know that where you are is only a bus stop. That is not your destination. Where you are today, I don't care whether you are the CEO and so on. For the CEOs, let's start something like this. For the big ones, let's start something like this. Where you are, yes, you have made it. But let's see that you do a growth planning. The plan for the growth. If you stay where you are and you are earning 1 million a month, and next year at this time you are earning 1 million a month, you have not progressed, you have diminished. So I'm saying to you that all of us must have a plan, a growth plan, a plan that every day you read a little bit more, you do a little bit more, you indeed pray a little bit more, but everything that you do, that you have a mindset of this slave girl. This slave girl enables her the confidence that he has said, no money, no popularity, no fame, nothing. But I have a God who says, you bless the work of my hands. As I told you, I believe strongly that this girl, when she came, she changed the whole dynamics of the place. If it is cleaning, she was there. If they wanted her to start work at 8, she was there at 7. And so she was impressive. People saw her and said that, yes, this is what I would do. But indeed, if you are saying that you are not going to do anything for God to bless your hands, I don't know what you want God to do. The economy is bad, yes. It is bad for all of us. Things are heavy, yes, it is for all of us. But the difference between the ones who achieve and the ones who don't achieve is the mindset. So stretch your mindset, friends. Stretch your mindset. You cannot serve there. First, affirm yourself. This is not my place. This is just a bus stop. This is not my destination. 2, you have to tell yourself, the people around you, are they people who urge you on, or they are people who say you've done enough? 3, you have to look for mentors. You have to look for mentors, people who have been there before, people who are going somewhere. If you don't get mentors, are there to point your blind spot to you, the things that you can't see yourself. That's what mentors are there for you to do. You have to do this. Do something after that. After the prayers, do something. Then you have to look for the enabling environment. This is what I told you. The people who surround you, even Jesus, every time that he wanted to heal, or some places he didn't heal at all, because that environment was toxic. The people there, and when he went, he said the people should get out of the room before he did the miracle. There's an environment that you are in is toxic, it's no good for you, and therefore you can't stay in that environment. Don't surround yourself with talkers. Surround yourself with doers. People who are going somewhere. Yeah, look for mentors who will hold your hand. I want all of us to really start the notes and do something about where we are now. Because the second chapter that I was going to talk to you about, you remember the prodigal son. He squandered all the chances in the world. But he had a growth mindset. He told himself, I don't care, I'm going back. And I'm going back to live in my father's house where I am somebody. They say that people go to places, they don't go to places that they are not tolerated, you know. You have to look at that carefully. You have to look at that carefully. You have to go to a place where you are celebrated, not a place where you are tolerated. You have to go to a place where you are celebrated, not a place where you are tolerated. And they will celebrate you at a place when you are doing something and you are going somewhere. May the Lord bless you this morning.